All right, we are back. This is our last episode of the Hex Command demo, Hex Command Gunpowder. And I wanted to say thank you for everybody who has taken the opportunity to watch this before we conclude and move on. As you can imagine, there are many things in the rules to do or choose not to do, as with any game. It's all a question of having the opportunity to choose how you want to do certain things. Sure, certainly the game has a structure and it has a procedure for every turn, but the way in which certain things are done can be changed, obviously, without heavily impacting the overall feeling of the game. The intention in the whole Hex Command series is to dramatically simplify and bring this hobby into reach as many people as possible with simplified mechanics. And yes, you might be seeing this and saying, this just looks like, Battle Cry or Command and Colors with miniatures, and the answer, or my response to that is yes, it does, because it shares certain mechanics or look and feel with those board games. It is entirely coincidental that the games look similar. These games were not developed, the Hex Command series was not developed after other games were created. It was not created in consideration of how those games worked. It was completely coincidence that Hex Command Gunpowder and the rest of the series were in development at the very time the other games were in development or being released as well. Hex Command Gunpowder and Mechanized, and basically the whole series, came from our original rules back in the early 90s called Fixed Bayonets and Company Command. That's where the concepts were honed for how each unit was maneuvered or comprised, and how the combat calculations were done, and the casualties disseminated and marked on the table, and so on. So Company Command and the original rules that Hex Command came from. And those, or at least Fixed Bayonets, came from an adaptation of Rally Round the Flag. Well, and even so, that's not entirely accurate. Why is it not accurate? Because when Fixed Bayonets was developed, we had Rally Round the Flag in the mid-'80s, and we saw the way it was working with individual stands and such, and we said, no, no, no. No more individual stands. Johnny Reb worked the same way. A whole bunch of other rules worked the same way, where individual stands came onto a game table and they were lined up in long lines, and then they would be snaked. They would be arranged in columns for marching on a road. No. We took all that and said there's no point in that. And began to take its toll on either the age of the players or the age of the game designers. Things started to change, and we started to run out of time. We just didn't have the time to play complicated games anymore, and this led to the initiative of making these games take less than an hour to play. Now, of course, this demo doesn't show that, because we're showing it in very detail certain things so that you can understand the components. But that is essentially the background. And so what we're going to do now is continue with our last turn here. And hopefully the British will get a will win the initiative, but it doesn't matter. It's not going to help this melee. which is probably going to result in this unit being destroyed, because even if this unit routes, the Americans will probably contact it and destroy it. This routed American unit is going to move before the commander can reach it. However, it is true that it did route to within the sphere of the commander, but it couldn't rally at that point. It can only rally in the following turn, which is now. So normally I would say no, they move first, but the truth of the matter is they're in proximity. They just couldn't rally that same turn that they routed. So I will engage our dice rolling app. This was for the Americans that failed, the British failed, Americans passed, British failed. All right, so the Americans win initiative, and that is where we're at. So they're going to continue with what this table looks like. Obviously, there's no need to change sequencing. There's no reason to do anything else like that. Going to rally in position because it is in proximity of the commander at the start of the turn. So they're just going to rally right here. And you might, by the way, notice, geez, Terry, your troops aren't exactly in the hexes. Well, you know why? Because it's a demo. And if you don't want your guys to be in hexes, like if you know, he's in between two hexes. And I want him to be there, you might say. I want the unit to be there. Well, then, yeah, fine, put it there. Don't be so concerned about where something is in relation to hexes. Well, there may be a time when you need to be concerned about it. But right now, depending on the situation, if you don't want it to be in exactly a hex, then don't put it there. Like here, I'll put it here, and it has to be properly faced. Okay, so that's a proper facing. And it's not where the player wants it. They want it to be right there. I'd like it to be right next to the fence. Well, what difference does it make? I mean, this hex is next to this hex, and there's a fence in that hex, right? So it is next to the hex. It looks better. Okay. What difference does it make? It's not going to hurt anything. The world is not going to end because the player wants it to be right next to the fence. He just likes it. Okay. Put it there. But for me, obey the rules and put it in the hex. Have the proper facings. Right? Face the flats, not the corners. Okay. So, actually, face that way. So the unit is rallied. We take away the yellow ring. And then, even though this is a second phase in the sequence, we only did this because it's routed, and it's rallied up now. So, back to number one, which is this guy, as it happens. So, the British number one is over here, and he will do what? If I advance on these guys, I can get a shot at them in the flank, which might be fine. The cannot see them. Well, I don't think it would be possible because they can't see the target. Yeah. So, even if the player wanted to, he can't fire into a melee. And firing across into the fence would not yield very good results. So the player goes, yeah, okay, let's get up here. Can we? No. Again, the hexes are not, they're not behaving. They're not doing what we want. So forget about it. They just put them where you want them. See? That's exactly what I was just talking about. It's not obeying the proper, you could, sure. See? Put it here. But he's not at the fence line. Okay? It looks like he's not at the fence line. But so right now, just put him there. Okay. And so therefore, the distance the artillery is not going to be able to fire anything right now. It'll have to just fire here, I suppose. So we're going to fire these guys. If everything else is coordinated, let's move the dramatic 1, 2 color. There's no other mod. Firing on flank. So this looks like color. Blue. And that's a miss. Artillery. 1, 2, 3. Automatic. 1, 2, 3. Color. 1, 2, 3. Code. 1, 2. Code and color. It's howitzer, so it ignores the so-called cover that the target is in. Again, automatic, color, code and color. Commander brings it down to code, which means red, no other modifier. If they shoot these guys, there's a chance the commander can be hit. It's a miss, per se. All right. Nothing can happen here because he's being flanked. And I guess that's it for this portion. So number 2, the Americans, this force. So melee just shows, we'll roll it to see just how much damage they do cause, and blue. So they cause an incremental hit, but it's doubled because of the flank attack, and they're superior by 2, so that's a rout. And you're probably saying, hey, just use a roster card. Yeah, but not today. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Oh, and yes, they were in cover for the first round, but not for the subsequent rounds. Do they advance? That's the way the rules go. Red advances, and they do. So these guys advanced into the space vacated by the opponent. Artillery is going to fire at these guys. Automatic color? Not quite. Code, because no, vents doesn't count. Automatic, 2, 3. Color, we'll call that. Back to automatic because of the command. I don't know. I think they're just outside that hex. So let's just call this code. Automatic color code. Back to color for the commander. There's no other modifier. So we're looking for a blue. And if you're wondering, yes, that's still blue. It's just that it's a specific symbol for the hex command mechanized. Or it means a special hit on a light value. So blue is a grade. Red is a better grade. Blue is, so we'll call that blue is the lighter grade. And that symbol means a lighter grade special hit damage occurred. But that's hex command mechanized and such. So that's a hit. These guys are going to fire automatic color because of the forest. 1 casualty hit, so it goes to code. Looking for red. And nope. So we might as well come back with them. Automatic color because of the fence. Code because of the range. Looks like red. Is that right? Automatic. Missed. All right, number 3. Artillery is ready to fire. 1, 2, 3. Just out of canister range. 1, 2, 3. So automatic. No commander. Color. No other mod. And that's a miss. Of course I would roll a red that close. These guys firing, automatic, color code, 1 hit. Goes to C and C. And now when I need a C and C, the star symbol, I'm not going to get it. That's always the way it is. Oh! Got it. Alright, because of the range, it's just incremental hit. And I suppose it might as well come back. So, actually, hold on. Whoa! Doesn't matter. It might. Actually, this is number 2. This is number 3. This is the number 2 that should have gone before these guys. So they will go. 1 automatic, color. Well, they missed. There's no commander there, so automatic, color, code, no hit, so they just need red, and they didn't get it anyway, so nothing changed. So we're done. Zip, 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 zip. Actually, they could have advanced, and so let's advance them 1. So they get a better range. Automatic color. That's a hit then. And it is incremental because of the range. It's not point blank. Remember, these are smoothbore muskets. That's it. Should we do another turn? Basically going to be like attrition. We can do another turn just to see if these guys get away. And maybe call it after that. Let's do it. This is the American roll. That's a fail. American, pass, British, pass, American, pass, British, fail. All right. So the Americans have won every initiative practically, which can be prevented if players choose to, but this is a demo. In other words, you could say you win more than 3 in a row, you can't win the next one. But, right, who are we to say? That's arbitrary. Anyway, so if we continue, then we will advance. Boom, destroy. Face properly. We will have these guys move 1, 2, and 3. And because of the fact that they moved into the forest and suffered a rout, we will automatically mark them with a incremental hit. I understand that's number 2, but we'll do the British number 1. Firing to the unit as before. Is that a hit? Automatic, color, code. No. The range, automatic, color, code, code and color. Commander brings it back to code. Oh yeah, got it. Checking for commander kill. He gets killed on a star. How do you like that? Yes. At the end of the game, so-called, Commander Sullivan of the American Army, is killed after these guys suffer a hit. Yes, it could be determined. Did they hit horses, they hit artillery piece, or crew? Oh, that's very fun, isn't it? How things change. Yikes. So, if that was his activation, we didn't move these guys, we will do it now. So he can certainly go up there and melee those guys. And there's no reason not to. So, 1, 2, and 3. And might as well do this. Can't. That's phase number 2. Sequence number 2. So yes, I did this reversed, but it doesn't matter because certain things they were a given anyway. There was no way that British could have gotten away. Just a moment. That is not true. That is not a true statement. This unit, Forest, I have made a mistake. This routed unit was here, and that was activated number 1. This is the only number 1. So, when this unit moved in here, they could then have fired on these guys. I have made a mistake. Firing on a routed unit, does that destroy it? Yes, it does. So, automatic, color, a blue hit, drunk. A blue hit. And they missed. So there you go. Now it's the British number 1. He can move this unit out of the way 1, 2, and 3. That is the way it should have been done. And that is unfortunate that I missed that. And then their firing killed this guy, so that stands, that's fine. And that activation up there, that's fine, that's good. Everything is now big. They actually do get away. I activated these guys out of sequence. That was an error. Well, so that is completely different, because these guys have a chance of being rescued. And with the commander gone, the Americans can't hope to rally. And besides, if those guys rout, which they are likely to rout, they will not be recoverable. And passing through the artillery will cause the artillery to check for rout as well. Cascading effect. Yikes. So if we do the melee up there, we're just going to roll for severity. That's a drunk because the flank unit cannot fight back. They just cause another incremental hit, but it's doubled. So that's 1, 2, and that's a red hit. So 2 doubled because there's already a white on there. So the activation number 2 was here, then, okay? So 1, 2, and 3, and then opening fire, hopefully automatic, no other modifier. No need to roll. No, it's code. Color, sorry, just need blue. So yes, now they're destroyed. Okay. Got to do things in the right way. That was number 2 over here. Automatic, color for the range, code for the cover, CNC for the damage. No. Might as well come back. Automatic. Color. Because of the cover. No other. So I just need blue. Over here, this is his number 2. So he will go in, cause a melee, rolling for severity. In this case, the Americans do get a chance to fight back. So British roll blue, Americans roll red. This do the points. So 3 versus 3, 2, 1. The Americans are inferior, but they rolled red, which causes a red hit, but it's reduced. Sorry, that's not true. They get a red. That's number 1 because they rolled red. Superior, they rolled a blue, which is a incremental, but they're superior by 2, so they actually cause 2 more incremental hits, which routes that unit. So the Americans get a chance to cause a red, but they are routed in the process. 1, 2, and 3. On red, the artillery picks up and moves, and they do. So, it looks as if the British have redeemed themselves and may possibly win this. 3 units to the American 3. Remains a stalemate. Americans can't there. The British are now 2 artillery pieces to the American 1. I'm going to call the Brits as a marginal winner because the Brits can simply stand off and pummel these guys, and the commander was killed. So that's it. Desiring to end the game, it will end with a marginal British victory. There we go. Interesting stuff.